What's going on, YouTube and Y'all Squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 6. I do want to say I appreciated like the last third of this episode because like this is what I want to see when I'm watching these shows. It's just not the BS catty overproduced moments, but we'll get there. So we have Quick. He's at meeting his doctor. It lets us know that he was having wrist pain, I believe, in his right hand, well, right arm. I'm sorry, right wrist slash hand. There has been numbness, some swelling. We found out that it's possibly gout for arthritis, and he's told you're going to have to change your lifestyle. You're going to have to cut back on the drinking. In addition to that, you're going to have to wear a brace on your wrist 4 to 6 weeks at a minimum. And he's kind of like, I don't know. And he's told the worst case scenario is you lose all function in that hand. And he's a DJ, so you need your hand to DJ. And his wife is saying, like, you can cut back. And here's the reality. Like, if he already has things set in stone, like, try to fulfill all those obligations to the best of your ability. And if you know that you're booked for the next 3 months, anything past that third month, he has the ability to adjust it to where he can do what he needs to do to make himself healthy. So hopefully that happens. We get Irena and Brittany, her daughter. You know, Irena rehashes what happened when they were at their investment property. We find out that the night before, which sparked a little argument, that Jamie went to Brittany to complain about Irena, like Brittany is the mother. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Interesting dynamic there. The family dinner is rehashed, and they pretty much say, like Jamie has this thing where he'll say like, okay, I'll do better, I'll change, and then he just goes back to being exactly how he was before. So then we get Quick and Ashley. So they're having a casual dinner at their house, and they invite the Samuels because their whole thing is, okay, well, the Samuels, I mean, it's all etiquette and everything over there. Look, we got red solo cups and whatnot. We just over here. It's a good time over here. I'm like, all right, I hear that. And this is their first time of the Samuels. This is their first time at the Silver residence, which, again, I mean, I don't know why people were surprised to find out that none of them really knew each other like that. But I mean, hey, whatever. So Monique brings up Ashley's event and feels, both of the ladies are owed an apology by her because, obviously there was a misinterpretation of what it was that actually happened. And Mo goes on and on and on, and that's how it's edited. Ashley wanted them to come over and have fun, not to talk about winter, just like the hell. But again, a show's being produced. This conversation needs to be had, so it is what it is. Mo says that says the winner she knows isn't messy. Quick says it appears that this is all a tit for tat, and that ain't cool. So Chris feels they, shouldn't breathe life into it. Just like, y'all know what it is. Just laugh at it. But Quick feels, the women, pretty much try to play his wife. And, like, that's where the issue comes in. Especially, y'all bring this to her event where, like, this is what she does. Yeah, that's why we're mad. Ashley says she would be okay if Winter told, Monique, like, hey, look, Ashley apologized to me. And that wasn't enough. Rather than, saying that she was attacked. Mo wants to have the girls, to do lunch, just, Winter, herself, and Ashley. And, Mo even said that, like, after, Ashley's event, she had to contact her energy healer, to get that energy up off of her. The Silvers inquire about it, and they want to actually meet with this person. So this is actually going to be a couples event. And the three main couples that you see on screen. So now we get Winter. She has 4 kids. We see the 2 eldest children. She lets them know that she's going to LA for 5 days, tells them that, she moved forward with the divorce. Her daughter clapped. And she asks why. And, her daughter said, look, he moved real quickly. He made promises. He just wanted to bag you. Winter says she wished she would have seen this. Her daughter said it was manipulation. And he was love bombing you from the start. So there was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault. And her daughter even tells her like, you need to spend time with yourself and heal. Um, and that was that scene. The one thing that I like, I appreciate what the daughter was doing for her mother. I do believe that there was a lot that her mother could have done, but I guess from her vantage point, there isn't. My question is, why didn't Winter talk to her kids before wedding this man? And I do understand, most kids, regardless of age, may not want their parent to remarry because they don't want a stepmama or stepdad. Especially with the whole "you can't come in here telling me what to do," like all of that stuff. Again, I've been there, so I understand it. But most of the time, your kids are going to see stuff that you don't. Now, sometimes, yeah, they're just gonna be wild because they don't want, again, a stepdad or a stepmom. But a lot of the times, yes, they see stuff you don't see because you're not trying to see it because you just want to be in love, be in your love bubble and all that other stuff. And I feel like some of this could have been avoided had she just talked to her children and got their insight. But whatever. So we get Mo, Winter, and Ashley. Mo wants the end result for everybody to be on common ground. Mo mentions, what she got from her lunch with Winter. And Ashley says that, okay, so if this is what she told you, that's not how it was delivered to me. So now Ashley is seeing that, okay, maybe, just maybe, it truly is Monique that got the wires mixed up, which caused, all of this, ish to pop off. Because again, Ashley was on Ready last episode when Winter walked into her event. Winter wished that they would have just been able to have a conversation, the three of them, if Monique was going to bring this up. So if there was any confusion, it could have been deaded right then and corrected rather than us being where we are currently. Let me see. Yep, said that. So Mo says, if she isn't present for something, don't tell her nothing. And the ladies are just like, yeah, we can do that. But I also feel like you need to have enough restraint to where if a conversation is had between you and somebody else, that either A, it stays between you and that person, or you tell that person in the moment, based off of what you're telling me, I feel that I'm obliged, or I'm going to have a conversation with so and so just so I can make sure that, things are cleared up and whatnot. Like, at least be forthcoming about that. But okay. Because pretty much what's being done is rather you holding yourself truly accountable for let you tell it unconsciously starting drama, rather than you just be like, okay, I'm just not going to do it. It's I'm gonna push it off on the other people. Y'all just don't tell me nothing. No, I don't like that move. Winter says, she wasn't coming for her character or her marriage. Ashley feels like that's a crock of BS. But Ashley then asks her, okay, look, if is everything cool? Like, I'm sorry, she was like, is there any other issue that may exist? Because what I don't want is for us to leave this table and then it'd be something else. And I can appreciate that. Like, if y'all go back to Love and Marriage Huntsville, how Tisha has her issues with her cousin Kiki, and how it seems like, okay, y'all have these conversations, but there's no resolution. A lid isn't like literally fixed on this jar, and there's a whole lot left to be desired, and there's not a shared understanding amongst the group. And then here y'all go continuing to have issues. So I can appreciate Ashley being very forthcoming and forward with that. Granted, Ashley is very forward. It's just sometimes she likes to pop it off. Okay. And Winter says she doesn't know her well enough, to have any issue either way. And she pretty much just taking things moment by moment, and they all pretty much leave off on a good note. And Ashley says, and again, we leaving this on the moment, but I'm gonna just say we gonna toast, but we ain't toasted to being friends. I'm like, well, look, at least Ashley is consistent. So now we are at what I felt was like the best part of not only this episode but the series so far. And it was a healing session in a salt cave, which was pretty cool. So we have Terry Christine. She's the intuitive energy healer and life coach. So Terry says to Jamie, sometimes you're insecure, and in your insecurity comes aggression. You don't want to appear weak when you're insecure. You are pushing people away. When you're insecure, just say nothing. Arena says that he is spot on, and honestly, I feel like what she said about Jamie is more or less spot on about most men. Again, it's all about how we were brought up. Again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Y'all hear me say it on a lot of my videos, but this is how men are cultivated, in the patriarchy in which we live in, where you got to be strong and be a man and be this and be that. And we'll even see some of this real quick. Terry goes to Quick and she says, like, the number 9 is coming up quite a bit. And then she was like, and asked him when was he 9? And she's, I'm sorry, he says 3rd grade. And Quick says that this is when he found out that his mom had cancer and that she was dying. In addition to that, his father passed in 1999. So there are 3 nines right there. And we find out a little bit later. I don't know if it was right here, but he tells us later that he was 18 when his father passed on. What's 9 times 2? 18. So there's a lot of nines there. A lot of nines there. He said at age 10 is when he started DJing. This was after his mother passed. And he says that he's afraid of good news because every time there's some good news within a year, something horrendous happens. And Terry says he's not living deep. Always expecting the worst causes him to live on the surface. When you're entertaining others, you don't have to go deep. It's a form of self-sabotage almost. Which I'm like, hey, definitely can see that. And like I personally live my life, I pray for sunshine but expect the rain. But I'm always optimistic. It's just if the optimism don't work out, I'm not disappointed. Now, but that's different than always waiting for the ball to drop. Like, okay, any day now, something bad's gonna happen. Like, not a way to live. So Quick says he holds a grudge almost because his father passed when he was 18. His father always pushed him, but never saw the fruits of his labor. Let me see, and he wishes his father. I'm sorry, no. He says working is his coping mechanism. Wishes his father could see the life that he has. Pretty much like you did a whole lot. I would like for you to see it. And even mentions that, he selfishly wants his father or want his father to still be here because his father was always told that, that he was a horrible father, especially encouraging his son to be a DJ because many people feel like there's no money in that, there's no career in that. And he almost wants his father to still be here so he can look them in their face and be like, ha, I told you. So I'm like, okay, like we're getting deep on some things. Now, Terry says to Chris, don't live through Monique. When that person isn't happy, you don't understand because of how, I living through that person. But we don't go too deep into that because pretty much that's an assignment for them to work on later. Part of me feels that was geared towards him because Monique meets with him, but I don't know. And I wonder, is this the same life coach that he was supposedly meeting with before? Y'all let me know because I done forgot. So then Terry says to Irena that she covers things up. It's all about perfection with her, and let me see. And it hurts a lot that she has to do that. Irena cries because like she does feel that she has to be perfect in every aspect of her life. And Jamie kind of like touches her leg, almost nudging her to be, the whole like, hey, stop crying. Like, what are you crying for? That type of thing. And Terry catches it and says to him, like, don't do that. Like, you clearly see that your wife is crying. This is when you just need to hear her. And even if you don't say anything, just pretty much be responsive to what's going on. And of course, him being the typical male, again, like that's not what we do. And chances are he probably doesn't know how to deal with her when certain emotions flare up. And this could be his way of controlling because not everybody knows how to deal with emotion. Let's see, did I miss anything? Nope. So then we end the episode with Quick and his brothers Antonio and Franco. His brothers, if I didn't say that. And they're at their father's gravesite. And Quick and his brothers, mentioned how, at their mother's funeral, their dad pretty much told them, be strong, be tough. In essence, don't cry. Which, I always say it, how men are brought up, and it's like that, like, it's always about putting on the front and whatnot. Where if there's ever a time and place for you to sit here and truly let all the emotions go, I would like to think it's at a parent's funeral, especially like especially if you haven't had the opportunity before the funeral to have all those emotions, come out. Antonio says until you let it out, it's gonna bottle up and one day you'll explode. Facts. Facts, and I mean, obviously, it's that's nothing new, we all know, but sometimes people need to hear that, and reflecting on like, yeah, us holding a lot of this in, it's going to come out. The only thing is you don't know the time and the place when it's going to come out. You don't know in what manner it's going to come out. Whether you just break down crying or you just fly into a rage, like you don't know. Quick asks if they feel that they made their father proud. Both the brothers say yes. Quick then reads a letter that their mother left them, and he lets us know that this is the second time he's read it out aloud. And I want to believe this is only the second time that he's read it, because I guess from how I interpreted it, I guess their mother gave this to them obviously before she passed, but I want to believe it was maybe like close to it. And as Quick as reading it, he's breaking down because like it hits home, and these are feelings that he hasn't really dealt with. Um, and let me see, his mom had even wrote in there for him to like to take, like, he's mature for his age, so he needs to like be there for the eldest brother, who I believe is Antonio, until he finally matures and was told to take care of his brothers and his father. And I would assume for a 9-year-old that is a lot to sit here and put on the shoulders of a child. So, like I said, there's a lot there. And again, with everything that Quick has gone through in his life, and then having to shoulder what the family and whatnot, and dealing with what happened with both of the parents, and what I get it, it's a lot there. And he's going to try his best to really explore these feelings. In addition to that, try to spend more time with his brothers. But I at least am happy that he was able to acknowledge that he works himself the way that he works himself, so he doesn't have to deal with whatever is going on that he's trying to suppress. And I think I've said, people with their coping mechanisms, some people are like that, where I know for me, I will work myself into exhaustion. So by the time my head hit that pillow, there's not enough time for my brain to sit here and start, reminding me of what it is that I'm trying to forget, because I work myself to a point where I'm just exhausted and I can go to sleep, rather than letting whatever thoughts are haunting me, keep me up at night. So I definitely get it. But that was the episode. Like, it was pretty good. Like I said, the last third of it, I greatly appreciated it. It was very insightful, and this is some good stuff. And next week, Arena just about to go hard on winter, and low key, I'm here for it. But yeah, that's all that I got. So let's keep the conversation going on in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all for the next video, which will be Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, peace.